So Hillary Clinton decided to do an interview and yet again show everybody how terrible her political instincts are. So this is a headline in The Hill here. Hillary Clinton, MAGA cult members need deprogramming. Okay, so let me give you the specific quote, and then I'll explain the issue with it. But then I'll also give you broader context here, which might put it in a slightly different light. So they say former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton railed against supporters of former President Trump during a new CNN interview, comparing those who still support the former president after the January 6, 2021 insurrection to members of a cult. By the way, that part is not the problem. Quote, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members, she said in a clip released late Thursday. And sadly, so many of those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump, who has no credibility left by any measure. Okay, so what's the issue here? Look, the issue with it, in my opinion, is when you say there needs to be a formal deprogramming. Of course, that sounds like we need like re-education camps or something to give you the proper party line that you must parrot. And it feeds into all of like the deep conspiratorial stuff on the far right, where they feel like there's no room for disagreement on the left among Democrats, and they want to send you to some sort of formal re-education camp. Now, is Hillary Clinton going to actually send you to a re-education camp? Of course not. Will there be any formal deprogramming? Of course not. But it's classic. Like, it reminded me very much of the irredeemable deplorables comment that you made, which led to massive backlash, and then the right talked about it for years and years. And this, I think, will be a similar thing where they'll take this. They want to do formal deprogramming of us. They want to send us to re-education camps like Mao and like Stalin or whatever. It just feeds into their narrative and gives them an easy dunk, okay? That's the problem. Now, so I understand the issues with it. She shouldn't have said it. She's really not good at this. She doesn't have good political instincts. She always shoves her foot in her mouth and gives us moments like this on a regular basis. So yet again, Hillary Clinton, go away, go away, go away. Having said that, guys, if she just took out the formal, the formal word here, I think she's 100% right. I mean, let's be serious, right? So if she just said there needs to be deprogramming of the cult members, I'd be like, that's 100% true. Now, why do I say that? Guys, it's not me. Go look at the polling, right? Go look at the things these people believe. We covered the poll the other day. The number of Trump supporters who say, look, I trust him over my mom. I trust him over my dad. I trust him over my daughter or my son or my grandma or my grandpa or my teacher or this religious leader or who, like, they trust him more than anybody, and his word is gospel. His word is gold. Even if it's verifiably, provably untrue, even if it's absurd, even if it's a brazen lie, they're like, I don't care. I've shut my brain off, and I'm with this guy no matter what. Look, as I've told you guys a million times, it was a different story in 2015 and 2016. Trump, he said some things that were hideous and horrendous when he gave his launch speech, and he said, the Mexicans, they're criminals, they're rapists. I assume some are good people. He did that. He gave us, of course, a little later on, he gave us we need a total and complete shutdown of Muslims to figure out what the hell is going on. He's had his moments where like, oh, wow, this is very, very bigoted. But he married that with an economic populism in his rhetoric, which was like, I'm going to protect your jobs. I'm not going to outsource your jobs. NAFTA was the worst trade deal ever. I'm going to protect Social Security. I'm going to protect Medicare. I'm going to raise your wages. So he had a mix of like economic populism with standard Republican bigotry, except not as much of a mask on the bigotry. And there was an argument at the time where it's like, he managed to convince 9 million Barack Obama voters who voted for Obama twice to then vote for him. It was a different situation in 2015 and 2016. Now, he already governed for 4 years. We know what he's going to do as president. He did it. What did he do? Massive tax cuts for the wealthy. Massive tax cuts for corporations. Attempting to coup Venezuela. Massively increasing the drone war. Net outsourcing of 200,000 jobs. Manufacturing jobs. Destroying the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is a rare government agency that looks out for regular people and protects them against the abuses of big financial institutions. So after he has a record, you know how he governed. You know he became just a totally insane conspiracy Fox News grandpa. You know all this. Well, yeah, I'm sorry, but my sympathy has run out. Right now, I want to try to deconvert these people. I want to try to get them to not be under this guy's spell, but there's only so much you can do, number one. Some of them will be TFG, too far gone. And number two, maybe the right way to do it is not the empathy hand-holding way. Like, it's the, hey, asshole, here are the facts. Acknowledge them. You're wrong. You are just wrong. And so, look, if Hillary dropped the word formal here, I'd be like, I mean, she's right. If she just said, quote, maybe there needs to be deprogramming of the cult members, I'd be like, they absolutely correct, Hillary. Because when the guy goes up there every speech and talks about how they stole the election from me, it was rigged, they stole it. At the same time, he has criminal charges against him because he was trying to steal the election. That's what the whole fake elector scheme was about, the fraudulent elector scheme. That's their own words that they were using internally. They knew it was bogus. They knew it was fake. They knew they didn't have the evidence. They did fake electors, had paperwork of their crimes, and they tried to force Mike Pence to overturn the results of the election. They tried to steal the election, as he every day screams that it was Biden who stole the election. If you can't see through that, I don't know what to say to you. If you can't say, hey, a guy who came out and said, we need to suspend the Constitution, that's what Trump said. If you can't look at that and say, I'm out, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Do you need to be deprogrammed? You bet your ass. The only problem with this Hillary Clinton comment is that she used the word formal, which invokes this idea that there will be like re-education camps that you get shipped to, like, you know, Mao is the ruler or Stalin is the ruler, which of course is a terrible look and not a good comment. But if you talk about we need to deconvert them, we need to deprogram them, they believe things that are verifiably untrue and insane, you are 100% right if you believe that. Okay. So having said all that, that's my view of it. I understand why it's an issue, but you don't have to tweak the comment much for it to make perfect sense, right? Now, I just want to give you a little taste. Here's the thing, like in the last month, here's some of the things Trump floated. He will arrest all homeless people across the country for urban camping, round them up and relocate them to tent cities where they can be rehabilitated. So in other words, he will concentrate all the homeless people in a particular area. Maybe we can call it some sort of a camp, maybe a concentration camp. Okay. He will require every federal employee to take a new patriotism exam, and they'll be terminated if they refuse to take them or fail to pass. He will build 10 new Trump freedom cities around the country, which will be free of any government regulations. He will appoint federal judges in the mold of Clarence Thomas, the worst and most corrupt of all of them. He will have DOJ subpoena local DAs and their staff and remove them from office if he determines that they are failing to do their job to his satisfaction. He will fire staff and disband college accreditation boards since they have become dominated by Marxist maniacs and lunatics. He will seize university endowments and also fine them millions of dollars if he determines the schools are Marxist and or discriminating against white people. He will have DOJ investigate and prosecute General Milley for treason. He will end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours by threatening to withhold U.S. aid to Ukraine if Zelensky doesn't agree to a deal with Russia. By the way, if you think he will actually end it in 24 hours, you are the most gullible person on planet Earth. Require that schools hold elections each year where principals will be elected by parents who will choose whoever they want to run the school each year. Any person convicted of selling drugs will get the death penalty. Pardon convicted J6 inmates convicted of seditious conspiracy and assaulting police officers with an apology from the U.S. government. He wants to pardon all the January 6 people. He wants to have the Department of Justice investigate Comcast, NBC, and MSNBC for treason and remove them from the public airwaves. He wants to pardon Michael Flynn to a top position in his administration. This guy is a felon, and also, by the way, he is absolutely knee-deep in QAnon conspiracy theories, and he wants this guy back in his administration. He wants to end all diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in the government by executive order. He wants to bring back the guy who was the architect of the child separation policy. He wants to, quote, terminate the Constitution. He wants to eliminate all early and absentee voting in America. He wants to create a commission to investigate his longstanding theory that vaccines cause autism. He wants to end birthright citizenship by executive order. That would be wildly unconstitutional. He wants to fire 40,000 career civil servants on day one and replace them with patriots loyal to him. This is the Project 2025 Republican plan to totally change the government. Go watch my segment on that. I go into detail about Project 2025. It is terrifying stuff. They want unitary executive theory, which is basically like dictatorship powers among the president, and they want to destroy the administrative state in every way imaginable. He wants to set up a commission to study whether genetically engineered marijuana is the cause of mass shootings. He wants to abolish the Department of Education. He wants to reinstitute a ban on trans people in the military. He will bring back God into the public school system, deeply unconstitutional. He wants a new 10% tariff on all goods imported from the U.S. He wants to reinstate a travel ban on Muslim countries. So this is just to let you guys know, this is 27 things Trump said he will do in a second term. And this was all within like a recent time frame he made these comments. So yeah, do these people need deprogramming if they're still going with him after saying things like, hey, let's give the death penalty to drug dealers? You can't support him after that. Or let's shoot shoplifters on the spot, judge, jury, and executioner to the cop. If you're still with him after that, I don't know what to tell you. But here we go. I got one more for you. So, of course, Fox News jumped on this Hillary Clinton comment because it's their bread and butter, right? Oh my God, Hillary said something that we can pounce on all day. Let's do it. But there's a Democrat on the panel, Jessica Tarlov, and here's her reaction to their, let's be kind and call it outrage. She calls it faux outrage over the Hillary comment. Watch this.
I really need everyone spare me the faux outrage and the pearl clutching about this. Little collection of things that Donald Trump and high-ranking Republicans call liberals on a daily basis: anarchists, anti-American, deranged, communists, corrupt, compromised, groomers and perverts, thugs and traitors. Now, she was explicit that she was talking about a subsection of the Republican Party the same way that Joe Biden is when he talks about this MAGA extremism. But you tell me, if the leader of the Democratic Party, so that would be Joe Biden, was facing 4 indictments with 91 felony counts. He had been found liable of sexually assaulting a woman and defaming her. That's E. Jean Carroll. Guilty of fraud, sharing the nation's secrets, not only in the Mar-a-Lago indictment, but there was a report yesterday from ABC News that he had shared information about our nuclear submarine capacities with an Australian billionaire who's a member at Mar-a-Lago, who had then gone on and shared that with dozens of other people. Ended up making a purchase, I think, of 3 subs. It included specifics up to how many nuclear warheads they carry and how close they can get to Russian subs without being detected. And then I told you, so all of that is happening, and he's shooting up in the polls. And when you see those interviews of Trump supporters outside of the rallies, they're like, none of this is true. It's the big lie. He won the election, et cetera. And you wouldn't say to me, you guys are in a cult? It's actually tame what Hillary Clinton was saying.
The idea that, well, guys, let's be serious. Republicans and conservatives are far more nuanced with how they talk about Democrats and how they talk about liberals and leftists. And it's only a big bad Hillary Clinton who generalizes too much about Trump supporters on the right. Oh, please. Democrats are far more nuanced as a general rule how they talk about the right versus how the right talks about the left. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. I mean, literally any Trump speech you watch, anybody who disagrees with us, anybody who disagrees with him, I should say, is a communist and a fascist and a Marxist. And we'll get to this story in a little bit. Pro-criminal. They say pro-criminal. You have Republicans now blaming Joe Biden for Hamas terror attack in Israel. What? So the way that they overreach, the way that they lump all people on the other side of the political spectrum together, let's stop pretending like, oh yeah, no, Republicans are really nice to people who are Democrats and liberals and leftists, and it's only Hillary Clinton and Democrats who are so dismissive of people on the right. No, how many times have we gone through this? But I was telling everybody back during the 2016 race, hey man, I think Trump can win this and beat Hillary because Trump is going to exploit all of Hillary's weaknesses, calling her crooked Hillary, pointing out how corrupt she is with the Clinton Foundation and all that stuff. And you know what? Trump is making a lot of arguments that's going to appeal to people who are struggling, people who are hurting, to independents, to moderates. I was the one pointing out the economic stuff. I was the one making the argument, you can't claim Trump's entire appeal in 2016 is just people are racist. That's a reductive argument. That's a dumb argument. It's not even close to true. There were plenty of economic things why people would have voted for Trump. That's the point I was making in 2016. But guess what? It ain't 2016. And the people who are still remaining with him, they do have to look in the mirror. They do have to ask themselves, why am I overlooking so many absurd, preposterous, insane things that would hurt the country? So, spare me. Look, truth is always a defense. And like I said, the only problem with the Hillary comment is the word formal. If she dropped the word formal, I would 100% be defending her. But what is for sure accurate is what Jessica Tarlov is laying out here, which is you guys are playing the outrage card. Oh, how dare you say these things about us? When it is any day that ends in Y, you guys are smugly and derisively smearing everybody who disagrees with you even a little bit. So please spare me. Hey y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.